Everybody, this is lecture for topic 9, process costing, and today is Wednesday, 5th of January, 2022. I hope I'm not late to wish a happy new year to everybody. Okay, so this lecture, this topic is about process costing. This is the first thing that you have to know about the process costing. Remember, there are in management accounting, there are two main costing system. Costing system means the method that a business can use to calculate cost per unit of a product produced by the business. Last week, in topic 8, you have learned about job order costing system. Today in this topic 9, you will learn about process costing system. Okay, let's see. These are the characteristic of a business that should use a process costing system to calculate the cost of its product, to calculate the cost per unit of its product. See here, the first point in the blue box here. A business that produces many units of a single homogeneous product flow evenly through a continuous production process should use process costing system. If you see a business that produce a single product but produces this product in very large quantity, then the business should use process costing. That is the opposite of the business that should use job order costing. If you can remember, last week I have told you, if a business produces unique or different product in an accounting period, then the business should use job order costing. Okay, that's one, the first characteristic. The second characteristic or point that you can see here in the blue box is one unit of product is indistinguishable from any other unit of product. The business that should use process costing system, they may produce a single product but in large quantity. So the product that they produce, maybe thousand of units, maybe million of units, is indistinguishable, same. We will see the several examples of businesses that should use process costing in the next slide. And the third point that you can see here is each unit of product is assigned the same average cost. Okay, these are the typical process cost applications, or these are the typical businesses that would use process costing to calculate cost per unit for the product. The first example is petrochemical refinery. Second example is paint manufacturer, and the third example is paper mill. And I think the easier example to understand is a company that produces soft drink. For example, Coca-Cola company. Coca-Cola company produces Coke soft drink. Coca-Cola soft drink. that is a single product. Coca-Cola soft drink is a single product, but the company produces millions of bottles of Coca-Cola soft drink in one accounting period. So how to calculate the cost of Coke soft drink per bottle? So the basic formula is the company has to calculate total cost, and then divided the total cost with the number of the Coke soft the quantity of the Coke that they produce. Let's say in one day, a Coca-Cola factory in Malaysia produces 10,000 bottle of Coke, and the total cost for that day is $10,000. So the how to calculate the cost per bottle of Coke? To calculate the cost per bottle of Coke, the basic equation for process costing is total cost, which is $10,000, divided by the total quantity, which is the 10,000 bottle. So the unit cost per unit for a bottle of Coke is $1. That is one example. What else? There are many examples. For paper mill, so for another example is Kleenex tissue paper. Kleenex company, the business produces tissue paper. So in one day, maybe thousands of thousand boxes of tissue paper. So how to calculate cost per unit or per box of tissue paper? The basic calculation is total cost divided by the total quantity of the tissue paper. So that is about the characteristic of businesses that should use process costing. Okay, these are differences between job order costing and process costing. See the job order costing. So the first point there, for a business that uses job order costing, there are many unique jobs worked during one accounting period. For example, we use an example. Let's say the business is a catering business. So in 1 month, in one accounting period, 1 month or 1 year, the catering business will do many unique or different catering jobs. But compared to a business that will use process costing, for example, Coca-Cola company, the product is single, and we focus on the Coke soft drink. The product is single, but the product will be produced by the business every day for a very long period of time, every day for many years, same. And the second point, costs are accumulated by individual jobs. For businesses that use job order costing, costs are accumulated or calculated by individual job. Cost has been calculated for every job separately. But for a business that uses process costing, costs are accumulated by departments. Most businesses that use process costing, they produce their product in factory. So in a factory, there are many departments: bottling department, mixing department, labeling department, packaging department. So costs are calculated by departments. Total costs are total cost equal to cost of production in department A plus cost of production in department B plus cost of production in department C, and maybe many more departments. Okay, see the third point there, job cost sheet is the key document. If you can remember when you learned about job costing last week in topic 8, the main document that we have to use to record the cost for a job is called job cost sheet. But for a business that uses process costing, you will see in the next slide, the main document that is used by this kind of business is called production report. Production report, that is document, the document that the main document that will be used by, that is used by a business that uses process costing. And then the last point here, see under the job order costing, a business that uses job order costing system, unit cost computed by job. So maybe one job is a single unit. For example, a business, a catering business. A catering business for a catering job is a unit, is a product. So if you, maybe the business has to calculate the cost per catering job. But in some situation, for example, the business is a book printing business. So for a book printing business, a job is maybe printing 100 copies of a book. So if you want to calculate the unit cost or cost per book, then total cost for the job, you have to divide the total cost of the job by 100, because the job is printing 100 copies of a book. So total unit cost, or cost per unit, is total cost for the job divided by 100. But for a business that uses process costing, the way to calculate unit cost or cost per unit of a product is by dividing total costs related to departments in production, total cost of production, total cost of departments related to the production divided by the total quantity. Okay, so this is like a quick check to assess your understanding about the differences between job order costing and process costing. Let's see. Process costing is used for products that are different and produced continuously. B, similar and produced continuously. C, individual units produced to customer specification. D, purchased from vendors. So what is the answer? I think the answer is B. Process costing is used for products that are similar and produced continuously. The example that we use is Coca-Cola company. That company produces Coke soft drink. The product is same. The company produces thousands of bottles. of Coke every day. In 1 month, maybe million of bottles of Coke. So that is the kind of business that will use job as a process costing system. Okay, so this is the second thing that you have to know in this topic about process costing. When you learn about process costing, this is the second thing that you have to know. After you know the characteristic of the businesses that should use process costing system. So this is the second thing. Okay, the second thing is when you want to calculate cost per unit of a product using process costing system, you have to know the cost per unit of a product equal to direct material cost plus direct labor cost plus overhead cost. So the situation is like this. Our example is Coca-Cola company that produces Coke soft drink. If we want to know the cost per unit or cost per bottle of Coke, then the basic equation is cost per unit of a bottle of Coke equal to direct material cost to produce the soft drink plus direct labor cost to produce the soft drink plus overhead cost to produce the soft drink. This basic equation is same will in process costing and also in the job order costing. Okay, one thing that you have to know is, see the blue box there, direct labor cost may be small in comparison to other product costs in process costing system. Most of the time, when a business produces a product like a soft drink, the main or the biggest cost is the direct material cost. You can see the soft drink, to produce the soft drink, the business has to pay for the bottle, for the drink inside the bottle, and the label for the bottle. So that are the main costs, that are the biggest costs, which is the direct material cost. And then direct labor cost is small because most businesses they have workers, but most of the time when they produce the product, like they produce the Coke soft drink, they will use many machines. So machines cost most of the time can be categorized as overhead cost. Okay, so direct labor cost. So in process costing, to make the calculation simple, to make the calculation of cost per unit of product become simpler, the cost of the labor cost, the direct labor cost, will be combined with the manufacturing overhead cost, and direct labor cost plus overhead cost, we call them conversion cost. So in process costing, when we want to calculate cost per unit of a product, the basic equation is direct material cost plus conversion cost. So what is conversion cost? Conversion cost equal to direct labor cost plus overhead cost. See the green box there. So direct labor and manufacturing overhead are often combined into one product cost called conversion cost. Okay, this is still the comparison between job order costing and process costing. So the basic idea is when a business want to produce something, the business has to pay for direct material costs and also direct labor costs and manufacturing overhead costs. And then that is related to the process to produce the product, and then after the process the business will get the finished goods. The finished goods is related to cost of goods sold. Okay, for job order costing, when you want to calculate the cost per unit of a product, it means that you want to calculate the cost for the job. So remember last week you have learned that if you want to calculate cost for a job, the basic formula is direct material cost related to the job plus direct labor cost related to the job plus manufacturing overhead cost related to the job. And when the job is finished or completed, you record the total cost, and then that is the cost of goods sold for the job. But in process costing system, remember, process costing system is related to production in a factory. Our example is Coke soft drink. So if the basic process to produce Coke soft drink is like this. There is a factory, Coke factory, and in that factory there are many departments. Maybe it is started with department that handle the mixing of the material. Maybe the first department is mixing the water, the sugar, the flavor. That is called mixing department. And the second department may be bottling department, a department that put the soft drink into bottles. And then maybe the third department is labeling or packaging department. In that department, these bottles are labeled, put label on the bottle, and then all the bottles put in the boxes. That are the things that happen in a factory. There are many departments in the factory. So to calculate cost per unit, you have to calculate cost to produce the soft drink in every department, and you have to add all the costs, all the department costs, and then that is the total cost for the production. And then if you want to calculate cost per unit, the basic formula is total cost divided by total quantity. Okay, so now we are focusing on process costing. Like I said earlier, most of the time, if a business uses process costing, the business will have factory, and then in the factory there are many departments. So the total cost for to calculate total cost in or using process costing system, you have to add the total cost in the first department, and then plus total cost in the second department, and then maybe third department and fourth department. At the end of the process, you will get the total cost. That is the basic idea. Don't have to worry about the accounts that you see here, but the basic idea is if you want to calculate total cost using process costing system, you have to add all the costs incurred in all the departments in the factory. Okay, in this example there are two departments, department A and B. So total cost is equal to total cost, production cost in department A plus the total production cost in the department B. Okay, you transfer work and cost from department A to department B. If the department the business has 10 departments in the factory, so you have to add all the costs related to the production in these 10 departments. In this example, the example uses only 2 departments. So when at the end of the process, in the last department, the product is completed, and then the product can be sold. Okay, that's it. That's it for this first lecture for process costing. In the next lecture, I will explain about the next subtopic, which is about the equivalent units of production. Okay, thank you very much. Do not forget to write your name and metric number in the comment section of this video. I will record that as your lecture at 10 minutes.